Hi everyone, my name is Tiffany. Welcome back, or welcome if you've never been here before. Today I'm gonna do the birthday book tag. I saw Robin from Paperbacks and Planners do this, and as a fellow Pisces, I thought it would be fun. I just had my 33rd solar return on 3/3. That kind of synchronicity is never gonna happen again, so I'm with Robin. I want to celebrate it on my channel. So I will link her video below. She credited the original creator of this tag, so that information will be down there as well because of her. And there are 6 questions for us to get into, so let's start. The first, and they're like really cute names too, Birthday Cake. A book with a plot that seems cliche, but you adore it anyway. And I'm definitely going with If She Says Yes by Tasha Harrison. Now, Tomas pining over his best friend's MILF of a mother, Darcy, may be cliche, but I absolutely loved this. He has been carrying a torch for her since college, and now he's faced with that reality after trying to avoid it, because his best friend is getting married and it's being hosted at Darcy's home. And I love that this is not puppy love. He is serious. Tomas wants to be used by her. He wants to fulfill her every need and desire. He wants to be her confidant and a true partner in life. And I just loved how he worships Darcy. And I needed that for her because she's the type of woman that does everything for everyone else. She just got through a very embarrassing and public divorce. Her husband cheated on her. And she's been caught up in the isolation of just finding herself again and igniting her own passions. And she hasn't been touched in a while. So this just gave me the goddess worship that I wanted. It's an interracial couple. It almost feels like a vacation romance, if you will, because it's centered around the wedding. And I always love the sneaking around. I do. It just, it tickles me in a way. So I loved this. And I just wish I had more from this couple as well. This is on the shorter side, but it's delightful. Absolutely birthday cake for me. The next is Party Guests, your most anticipated book release for this year. I mean, as of now, in this moment, it's The Savage by Sophie Lark. I cannot wait for Sabrina and Adric's story. I absolutely loved Kingmakers, the way that she systematically plotted throughout that book and the romances that we got. And I suspect that Sabrina's book will be outside of Mafia Hogwarts. And I'm so interested in seeing the belly of the business that she creates. She's so badass, really an alpha. And that's gonna be combustible with Adric, them warring for dominance in this dynamic. And I am here for it. I cannot wait for her to make their heads swivel. So I'm excited about that. I could go on. I've been watching her writing updates on TikTok, and I just love it. I love Sophie. The next is Birthday Presents, a book that surprised you with how much you loved it. This book will make it onto many of my lists throughout the year, and that's Manacled. This is a Hermione fanfic where Harry Potter and The Handmaid's Tale meet quite literally. I was completely captivated by this book. Finally living my best bookish life when I decided to stop doling out chapters and just live. And I was surprised because it was fanfic. This is compelling writing, and everything in the plot just seemed hard won. The war effort, their connection, and even once they've fallen into each other, the solution to their magical quagmires are not easily found. And when we get that HEA, I loved that we get to spend time with them in that. And even that matures. So I loved Manacle. It has sparked a new obsession for Hermione fanfic for me. And I'm so glad that I found it. The next is... okay. Happy Birthday Song. A book that certainly deserved all the hype it got. I'm gonna go with Welcome to the Dark Side by Gianna Darling. This entire series is really hyped and it deserves all of the praise. It is the only MC series where I haven't been put off by the language towards women. They really usher them into the family, the fold, and cherish them. I'm here for it. And in this book, I mean, Daddy Zeus and Lulu are just fan favorites, and I was a little like nervous because of the hype. And the first 10% of this book just absolutely captivated me. He rescues her at 7 years old, and they get to know each other through the letters that they write while he's in prison, and she is a child sick with cancer in the hospital, and he's really the only support system that she has, because I guess cancer is just not a good look or great image for her family. It's absolutely deplorable. And oh, those moments with her when she's a kid, she calls him her guardian monster. I just loved it. And as she's like growing up, they're exchanging these letters and these moments, and when she comes of age, she starts sharing feelings and he completely cuts it off. And there is a moment in this book where her cancer returns and she resolves to just wrestle everything that she can out of life. She's done playing the good girl, and she wants him to give her the tutelage of sin. And I love that. There's like a great line in here about that. And I love that everything bows before Zeus except cancer. And what they freaking find in this book is just so luscious. I love this entire series. This one was definitely the hyped one, as well as Dead Man Walking, of the series. And so it deserves all the praise, in my opinion. I love them. The next question is Happy Music. A book with some very beautiful and truly memorable quotes. Well, for me personally, it's The Highwayman by Kerrigan Byrne. I mean, I have probably read this about 6 times at the moment. First, this has one of my favorite prologues where 2 child orphans find love, and there's a beautiful moment in this that shines all the brighter because of the dark turn that the closing of this prologue takes. And there are so many quotes in this book that not only speak to their romance, but also the social inequity. And Dorian spends a lot of time thinking about his empire, thinking about Farah, thinking about how he is trying to withstand his draw towards her. But I remember reading this, and there's a moment when he's thinking about his empire and he's talking about that social like inequality, and how even if he were to step down from what he's doing, there would always be a man like him for eons to come to step into his place. And there's a particular quote when I read it that sort of linked me to this fictional character in the past, and it was this odd sensation of being taken out of the story in the best possible way to reflect, and drafted me into it all the more. And I'm just gonna share it. We should be used to this by now on this channel. I have it tabbed. There's another one that I love in this, but I'm gonna save it for my favorite quotes video. But he's sitting there and he's, again, thinking about his empire and like the technological advancement of the future. And he says, technology advances and the world would become a small and manageable place, nothing but a ball trapped in the hands of greedy men like him until they closed their fists and crushed it. And isn't that our fear? And aren't there? Well, the hope is that there will continue to be groups to pry that damn fist open. You know, I just like how there are a lot of themes in this that harken to today. And I love the way that he is constantly thinking about his life and his impact and his future and how it's going to affect the love of his life, and just the pain in this, the pain of his desire for him and fear of like darkening her light. Oh, this just did it for me. And there are so many quotes in this that I absolutely love. So I had to put that on there. The next is Getting Older, a book that you read a long time ago, but you think you would appreciate more if you read it as a mature reader. I picked Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. I read this a long time ago, and I'll be honest, at the time, I was more interested in the salaciousness of the Mizawagi being sold, okay? Her virginity. And I think if I were to pick this back up today, I do suspect it would still be a 5-star book for me. This is kind of like one of my books. And I think going into it today, I would be cognizant of the fact that this is Japanese culture through a Western lens. And I think, as opposed to just getting lost in the very breathtaking and beautiful language within this, arguably pretentious, I would want to see if it's pretentious for pretentious sake, or if he's really doing the work of linking the language to the utter art form of the geisha and everything that they do. I would really want to appreciate that. It's beautiful. I actually might do a reread of this. And I think I would appreciate that sort of arduous lifestyle of art. I think I would note that better this time around. So I do love this book. And again, I'm in for a reread. The last question is Sweet Birthday Memories, a book that kept you incredibly happy during a sad or demanding period of your life. That book is definitely Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. This is Penelope and Colin's book. And I read this in the, I was going to say height, I'm going to say in deep depression. Towards the end of 2020, the Romance Book Squad did a readathon of the entire Bridgerton series, one book a week until the premiere on Christmas of Bridgerton on Netflix. And at that time in my life, I took stay at home to a completely different degree. I was in debilitating depression. I felt rudderless. And I remember reading this book, which has the big reveal. And I was so excited for Penelope's story because I could relate to her the most. Her being a curvy heroine and pining over Colin and it not being reciprocated in any way. I've been that girl. And it wasn't lost on me that she was a wallflower that was overlooked and sidelined without any prospects. You know, I really leaned into those themes at that point in my life, and the fact that she is not a spinster by choice like her best friend, and seeing this like genuinely kind-hearted spirit be overlooked. Yet what she is able to create out of her intelligence and vigilance, because when, you know, people pass you by, you're able to see things that all others don't. And I just was so freaking proud of her in this book. I was so proud. And it moved me that finally, not only does Cullen see her, he defends her, and he's proud to stand next to her. I loved this book. I was so happy for her. And I remember that when I read it, I was like really excited for the first time in a really long time. And so like that was such a gift to me. That readathon was the reason why I went from just like passively watching BookTube to interacting with the community. And it was like a beautiful thing for me, like this series and that, you know, read along, and like everyone who showed up every single week to like engage in the comments, like kind of like slowly brought me out of that space. So really grateful for that. And yeah, this was fun. I hope you enjoyed my stack. I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you can, I'm over here studying. I hope you can consider subscribing. I'm not editing that out. And I hope to see you in the next one. Lots of hopes over here. Bye.